Welcome back to SciTech Intermountain, Siteworks training videos. This video is on how to calibrate the tilt compensator on your receiver if you have one, either a 986 or an R780. If you have that, you need to make sure that the faceplate, which is the buttons, the flashing lights, are facing you as you stand behind it. You have a couple different ways you can turn it on. One is right here as you do your initial receiver setup. There is an option that says Enable Tilt Compensator. You can turn it on or off there. If you don't turn it on here, I'll show you how to turn it on inside the main screen. You cannot use your tilt compensator when doing a site calibration, using easy level, or setting new control points on your job site. It'll actually warn you and say you cannot use it. Once my rover is set up, there's going to be an icon at the very top here. You can see the icon right now that when I don't have tilt compensating on is just like a center zero, or it looks like a circle, kind of like a bullseye. And the guy standing there in the standing mode has the pole straight up and down. Up in the very top where your satellites are and your horizontal and vertical, if you touch that, you can go into a menu that it has the GNSS status, which is your map of satellite positioning in the sky, and then there's the settings tab. Inside the settings tab is where the horizontal and vertical tolerance numbers are set, and you can also turn on and off the enable tilt compensator here. And the Plumb bob routine is what I want to show you today. But here's what you have to do. As soon as you actually turn on tilt compensating, your horizontal and verticals are going to start flashing red and they're going to go to 0. Before you do the Plumb bob routine, you have to initialize the sensor, the IMU sensor, which is up in the top receiver there. So if I turn this from no to yes and go ahead and hit accept, the main screen, as you come out to it, is going to have the satellite count that you have, but it's going to have 0 for horizontal and vertical. They're dot dot there, and everything's flashing red. What I do is just wave the pole left and right, or right and left. I don't think it matters which way you go first, and that initializes that sensor. So now you can see that I've got my horizontals back. Your icon also changes on the screen. The icon has more of a point on one end, and the guy standing there has a pole that's leaning. A couple different icons and things to show you. And also at the very top where you've got your satellites, there's an A over the satellite count there. So if we go back in there to do the Plumb bob routine, which takes out any error that may be in your pole, because every time you record a point or do anything with a GPS receiver, you normally have to have your pole calibrated with the bubble here and level so that everything is shot directly over the top of that GPS receiver. Well, tilt compensating allows us now to record points on an angle, on slopes, whatever, and to record them and to find them again. So this Plumb bob routine may take out any error in where the actual point is in relation to the sensor up there. So the Plumb bob routine is very, very simple. It's nothing you have to worry about being super secret or anything SciTech needs to do. And you don't even have to have your pole actually perfectly level or known that it's level on the bubble. It walks you right through exactly what to do. What you need to do, though, is never pick up the point down here at the bottom from initial calibration to flipping it around. It's going to do a 180 calibration one way, spin it 180, and it's going to average those two angles out. I still go ahead and use my feet, or my legs here, excuse me, and I level the bubble up pretty close, and I go ahead and hit start. What it's going to do is it's phase 1, and it's going to calibrate up to 100%. At this point, try not to bump the pole. If it's a windy day, it's not going to work very good. And just wait till that counts up to the very top. I always keep my hand on the pole just to make sure that it doesn't move, that it doesn't blow over. Now that we've gotten to 100%, read what it says. It says rotate clockwise 170 or 180 degrees is what it's saying. But you'll notice on the top right here, this circle, it now has dotted lines on the opposite side to go 180 degrees and get it inside of that. So don't pick your pole up, leave the point in the same spot. I just pull my legs back and I rotate in the exact same spot where the point is until I get 180 degrees or inside of those white dots right there. Kick the legs out, Go ahead and level up again. Just get it as close as you can. And then it says start. You can go ahead and start that on the other side. Make sure the pole doesn't move during this process and let it count up to 100% again. As soon as it finishes out, it's going to give you a Plumb Bob results, and it asks you, do you want to apply those values? Go ahead and say yes. The values are applied. Please check the receiver accuracy by recording 2 points with 180 degrees. And what that means, I'll show you, is as soon as you're done with the Plumb Bob routine, you'll notice that if I come out of this screen, same thing, I have to initialize that sensor again. Right now, I've got horizontal and verticals that are giving me nothing. So just wave it either left or right, forward or back. Just give it some sort of initialization. And now you can see that everything is back on. So what it means by recording and checking those 2 points is if you level your pole up perfectly level, go into the roller stuck in the mud here, which is your, oops, wrong button. The roller stuck in the mud, which is the measure type. Go to new line. Doesn't matter what you name it, but make it a line. Go ahead and hit apply. And go ahead and start that line, but don't pick up your pole now. What you need to do is worth leaving the point in the exact same spot. Do the same thing. Spin 180 degrees with it in the exact same spot. Level your bubble up again. Spend a little extra time on your level here with your bubble, and go ahead and hit one more shot. So you do technically have 2 points in the exact same spot. I'm going to hit menu and measure to cancel that out, just to move off of that so we can actually see. Now what I'm going to do is go back to that line string, and if you zoom in really, really tight, I'm down within an inch. I can go to line information, and it'll tell me the length of that line. Slope length, horizontal length. It's about a half an inch. So even though I did the Plumb Bob routine, it's still in 180 degrees as it's trying to project the information from the receiver to the bottom. Still sees just a little bit of error, which is about 400ths. Just something to keep in mind of. But this is how you calibrate your tilt compensator, and now you can go out and record points. You don't have to be perfectly level, and it will still project down and record it in the same spot where that point is. For example, go back into measure type, go to point, and I'm going to shoot a point as a feature here. Turn that to no, and I'm going to hit accept. What I'm going to do is right on that rock, I'm going to go ahead and on an angle, I'm going to record a point right where I'm at. Zoom back in. I recorded that point right there, target number 11. So now if I come off of it and go back and touch and hold on it, and I want to stake that point, now what I can do is go back to that rock and at a 180 degree angle, lean it the other way, you can still see that my horizontal and my verticals are really, really tight. So if I come back over to the one side where I recorded it, you can see that with my pole leaning, I'm still calculating within 200ths to 300ths, and the vertical's good. That's the beauty of tilt compensating. So thank you for watching this video from SiteTech Intermountain, Siteworks training videos on calibrating your tilt compensator.